Today we're talking about the purchasing module inside Versa Cloud ERP. First, we'll go to the purchasing menu. There are two ways of creating purchase order in Versa. One is to create a manual purchase order. Another way is to run the PO planner and then create a purchase order. I will show you the first way. First, we'll create a new purchase order by clicking on New PO. And then we choose the supplier. So order date is auto-populated. The PO number will be auto-generated. The system will auto-select the facility that will receive the new inventory from this purchase order. Click on Assign Order Number. And then we can type in the product to find the product that we want to order. So I can type any aspect of the product, part number, the description to find the product. Enter the quantity, the purchase price. The purchase price can be saved in Versa. If it's not saved, then you can manually type that in. So once the purchase order is created, you can email that. So you can email a copy of the purchase order right from the application. You can also upload any new document associated with the purchase order. So this could be any reference material that you would like to share with the supplier, maybe some specification documents, and anything that's of relevance to this purchase order. So after the purchase order is created, the next step will be to receive the inventory. If the goods on the purchase order has been shipped and the goods has arrived in your warehouse, you'll be able to receive the purchase order. So let's go to Logistic, New Receipt. You will choose the supplier's name. And then the PO is auto-selected. If there are multiple outstanding purchase orders for this supplier, they will be all listed here. In this case, we have receiving 10. If not all 10 has come in, then you can type in a partial quantity. And then we have this bin location. If you use the bin location in Versa, which is just a way to record the position of the product inside a warehouse, you can do it right here. You can just tell the system that this product will be put into bin 1 once it has been received. So we're going to receive all, receive date, then we can post the receipt. So by doing that, you have successfully created a PO, received the purchase order. The inventory on the purchase order will be reflected right after you post the receipt. And the next logical step will be to pay for the inventory you just received. So this is quite simple in Versa. We'll go to Bills menu. We have this report here called Receipts Pending Bills. So this is a report showing all the inventory item you have received, but not yet paid for. So this could be a valuable report to see what other outstanding inventory that we have yet paid for. It's grouped by supplier. The purchase order is just created to be somewhere here at the bottom, but we don't need to find it. So we're gonna go create that bill for the purchase order we just received. I'm clicking on Bills menu, New Bills, and then I'm typing the supplier's name. And then the payment term you have with supplier will be auto-populated based on the supplier record. So what happens next is in Versa, we do what we call three-way matching. So instead of typing in the bill item line by line, you actually rely on the receiving record to bring in the details. So I can click on this link to receive item from receipts, and then I can choose to say link all line for PO 3313, which is the book I just received. If this purchase order has multiple lines, every single line on the PO will be created as a bill item line here. So let me click on that. So what this does is that the system bring the quantity of 10 here is actually the quantity received. It does not necessarily mean it's the same quantity you have on the supplier invoice. And then the cost here, which is your purchase price, it comes from the purchase order. So that's why we call this three-way matching. We are taking the bill, which is sent by your supplier. We match the quantity to your receiving records, and then we match the price on the supplier invoice to the price on the purchase order. If any of these three items does not match, you'll be able to see them here. So it's a great way to catch mistake, either mistake being made on your side. Let's say somebody received the wrong quantity. You'll be able to see it here. And then also maybe mistake from the supplier. They invoice you extra, right? Maybe they ship 9, but they invoice you for 10. So you'll be able to catch the mistake here. And then we do allow you to override the price when maybe the PO price is wrong, or maybe there is a surcharge from the supplier from this purchase order for this purchase order, and the actual price is 125. Override that. The quantity here we don't allow you to override because it's tied to inventory. If you say that we didn't receive 10, we actually received 9, then you need to go back to that receiving record that we did earlier, reverse that, and then receive the item again at the correct quantity. So that's how that works. So let me update the line. If they say, I'm just going to pay for this bill, you can do the payment right here at the bottom. Well, since this bills has net 30, so I'm just going to post a bill and pay that later. So to pay for bill, it's pretty straightforward. So we can go bill, make payments. Which bank account we use to pay for this bill. It's going to be paid today. Then choose pay by wire transfer. And then we're paying this supplier here. So the bill I just created is here. Then I'm going to post the payment disbursement. So this is just to pay a single bill. It's complaining about the date, but that's fine. This is to pay a single bill, but in Versa, you can actually use the payment batch to pay multiple bills. So that will be demonstrated in another video, but just understand that you can actually pay multiple bills at once. So let me try that again. I think I posted the wrong date here. Let me fix that. All right. So the payment is made, and then that's the completion of this workflow. We created a purchase order, received the purchase order, increased the inventory. We created a bill to pay for the goods we just received, and then we made a payment to the bill to pay for the bill. So next, let me show you the purchase order planner. So the purpose of PO planner is that you might have many products in the system. You don't necessarily have the time or the energy to look through each product and figure out, do I need to purchase more quantity for this product or not? So PO planner is essentially a report. So let's go run this. I'm going to run this for one of my warehouse here, but I'm going to switch it to this warehouse by clicking on the drop down list at the top. I'm going to switch to my COP facility. And then the PO planner takes a number of parameters. So we can say filter by the supplier. Maybe I only want to purchase goods that I buy from the supplier. I don't want to see anything else. You can choose that. You can also filter by product category. So maybe I know that I need to order some for this category. I don't want to look at any other products. Okay, use the product category to filter products. You can also filter the PO supply. Maybe you already have some purchase order entered, right? You can say, I don't want you to look at the purchase order I created in this day range. You can use that. And the next is you can say, look at my outstanding sales order. So this means that look at any order that I have not shipped, either it's in the process of being shipped or because we're out of stock, we cannot ship. So the system will make sure that you're ordering enough to cover existing sales orders. Next is sales forecast. If you do have the sales forecast loaded, so maybe you forecast 3 months out, right? So you say that I want to make sure that I'm ordering enough quantity to cover the sales forecast for the next 3 months. So you can choose that, the forecast period, and then click on this to check the lead time, which means that make sure that I order enough quantity to cover the time that I need to wait for the product to arrive after I place the purchase order. I don't have any forecast loaded in this system, so I'm going to uncheck that. Another thing is related to the production module. You can check this checkbox to include work order and bill demand. That will be covered in another video, so we're going to skip that for now. And then another thing will be the minimum level and then reorder points. In Versa, you can set up minimum stocking levels and then reorder level for the product. So if any of the product is below these two thresholds, you can choose to include the quantity in this report. So I'm going to say, look at my reorder quantity. And then the next one is maybe I only look at product that's on my approved supplier list. So what this means that in Versa, for each product, you can define who the supplier is. It's an optional thing. Like if you say, I don't actually have this information in the system, then I can just uncheck that. But now I'm going to check that. Just cannot uncheck once checked, that's fine. And then I'm going to start the new planning. So what that does, that this will go through the entire system, goes through every single product, and then find any product that matches the criteria above. Each line here at the bottom is one product. And then we can look at the first line here. You can see the part number, the description, the quantity on hand, and then the recommended quantity is what the system recommend you to purchase. So I think this product use different inventory units, so it's probably recommending you to buy because this product is in cases, but it's recommended to buy eaches. That's why it says 102. So basically recommending you to buy 102 eaches. And this next product here, you can see the system recommend you to buy 1 unit because we actually have 1 sales order sending. We have 0 on hand. So the idea is that the system will come up with recommended quantity here. If you accept the recommendation, you can just click on this button. And then the purchase price will be auto-loaded if the system knows about the purchase price. Otherwise, it's something that you have to fill in. Let's say I'm going to create the first 2 per PPO Omni. You can choose the selected checkbox here on the right. The supplier will be automatically selected based on the product. And I can click on Create New PO button to create new purchase orders. Because I have 2 suppliers selected, it will create 1 PO for each supply. So let me do that right now. So we created 2 purchase orders, and then let me click on each of them. There should be 1 product each. Once the purchase order created, then it will be like any other purchase order. You can process this using the first method I showed you. So that's a brief demo of our purchasing module. Thank you.